This episode of Capes and Lunatics Sidekicks is brought to you by Tweaked Audio. To get awesome headphones, go to tweakedaudio.com and use the coupon code Southgate to get 30% off, free shipping, and a lifetime warranty. Or you can get there through the link on our website, southgatemediagroup.com.
This is Phil Perich, and you are listening to the Capes and the Lunatics Sidekicks Podcast.
I'm here for Peter. Duh.
That's right. Start of a new month. So Lilith is back for Peter. Anyway, welcome back to the Ultimate Spider Cast. I am Phil. Joining me as always, like I said,
It's Lilith Hellfire, suckers.
Are you talking like you're in a 70s movie because these issues today are from the 70s?
Probably.
That's groovy. All right. Yes, because today we are talking the classic Amazing Spider-Man 100, 101, and 102 from September, October, and November 1971. So, before all of it, well, at least me and Lilith's time. So, yes. But if you're looking for a cheap way to read these, because there is a first appearance in these pages, I'm sure this has been reprinted in trade somewhere, but you can probably find them real cheap in a back issue bin because they were reprinted in Marvel Team Up 251, 252, and 253. So
There's that.
Yep. Yes, they were reprinted in 1991. So, 20 years after they were originally printed.
I was going to say, just in time for the 20th anniversary.
Yes. But of course, you see this credits created and written by Stan Lee.
Snap.
And illustrated by Gil Kane. Well, at least this first issue. Yes.
Yeah.
So
This is kind of a weird start.
yeah, Spider-Man swinging around the city.
Like just the background where it's like black and white and he's in color.
Oh, what, on the first page?
Yeah.
Yeah, is it black and white? I know in the reprint that like the city's like blue.
Yeah, in the original it's black and white.
Oh. So they must have tried to recolor it.
Yeah, and then like the next page is kind of turned into yellow. It's like it slowly like gains life and color.
Yeah. So yeah, Spider-Man's swinging around thinking there's nothing for him to do, but then, maybe Gwen's home, but before he can get away.
Maybe she is, or maybe she's hanging out on a bridge. Who knows?
Oh.
Still bitter? Probably.
What the F? What's that down there? Gunman racing out of the bank. The simple days.
I know, I was just about to say. You don't have to be a genius to know what that adds up to.
Hold it. But then a cop shows up and starts opening fire in the middle of this crowded New York street.
Look out, it's Spider-Man!
Hey, look, the flat-foot winged Benny shot him with no blood came out.
Exactly.
But yeah, Spider-Man.
What is this, a Captain America issue? A Punisher issue? A Conan the Barbarian issue?
The A-Team? What? But yeah, so Spider-Man beats up most of the guys, but one jumps in his car and gets away. Well, thinks he's getting away till he runs into...
Ooh, that's a nice little car there.
I know, I was going to say, is that like a... Yeah.
I only know 60s muscle cars. I don't know 70s muscle cars.
Okay. Ian Stanley might have just created it, or Gil Kane, whoever. But yeah, the guy runs into a web net. But he's going to shoot Spider-Man until he again webs up his gun hand and picks him up.
Exactly.
Here. Is that kind of like, hey, my bullets don't work on Superman. Let me whip the gun at him. Crooks.
Now, here's the thing about this issue, and he even addressed, it's funny, I didn't get as much of a charge out of tackling those jokers as I used to. So he was doing it for the thrills, son?
I guess.
Spidey was doing it for the thrills?
So what, did we kind of lay back on the power and responsibility for a while and just like, man, it gives me a kick. Even
Yes.
even swinging around town this way isn't the same old kick.
Oh, what's got you down, Petey?
Even
What's got you down?
Even the swinging brings me no love anymore. I'm just
Definitely
plain.
sound this out to a therapist.
I'm just plain bored.
Well, he's a young kid. You know, I get it.
I used to think I was better than those people down there on the street. See, but now I'm beginning to wonder.
At least they're really living.
Oh,
I'm watching from the sidelines. Oh, he's got some teenage angst.
Maybe I'm finally growing up.
At last.
Maybe I'm beginning to realize there's more to life than being a corny costume clown.
Oh, you're offending your audience, buddy. You better reel this in real quick.
He's thinking about Gwen, see? I might as well admit it. I know what I want, and Gwen Stacy is it.
Sure, buddy. Sure. Okay. We believe you, buddy.
Can you imagine if he found a way to give up his powers for Gwen and then the goblin still killed her?
How bad would it be if when one more day he's just like, nah, I just want Gwen to be alive. Sorry, Mary Jane. You ain't the one.
Supposedly, I heard a rumor. I thought there was talk about bringing her back that way, and I don't know who killed the idea, but
that would have had to been like a mini series, because that would have been so much backlash from the modern day fans.
Because Harry Osborn was back, and they're like, "Well, how the hell does that work?" Oh yeah, you definitely have to get a mini series to explain how you brought Gwen back.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind it for like a what if or whatever, though.
True. Yes.
That's why we have what ifs in Marvel, not an Ultimate Universe. I'm just saying. No shade.
But yeah, Pete's thinking how Gwen still blames Spider-Man for her father's death, even though it was Dr. Octopus who smashed that chimney.
Isn't that like his main problem with every loved one in his family at this point?
Aunt May hates Spider-Man. Gwen hates Spider-Man.
Yeah.
It's tough to keep my secret identity for her now, but once we were married, the strain could be too great. Oh, he was going to keep that secret even if he married her. Oh.
And this is how you know Mary Jane's his true love, guys.
That's right. So I can't put it off any longer. I've got to give up being Spider-Man forever, because that always works.
Spider-Man, no more forever.
So yeah, he gets
throw it in the trash. Throw it out.
Gets back to the apartment thinking, boy, it's lucky Harry's still in the hospital, from his bad drug trip. See,
he was ill last issue. Remember? Thank you, Stan.
Took some bad medicine. See.
And that's why drugs are bad, okay?
Hungry. I need time to concentrate in complete privacy. It was an accident that created Spider-Man. What I do now must be deliberate and perfectly planned.
In order for Peter Parker to really live, Spider-Man must die. Get it, guys? And that death didn't do anything to you, Peter. Stop banging on it.
So then we just get the montage of him working.
I've been working day and night.
Mixing chemicals and stuff. I've always been thinking about it because who knows what my radioactive blood could do to me, but I never knew when I might need a potion to make me normal. Potion?
This is magic? Okay.
I was going to say, well, what's in here?
Did you call it Dr. Strange?
I have newt. What is it?
Hair of Toad or whatever.
Oh, Lord.
Hair of Black Cat, maybe? I don't know.
I mean, they show him mixing the chemicals wearing these same clothes, but then he's like, I finished it months ago and always kept it ready.
He's just hitting it with a little tonic water to freshen it up.
I guess, but he's just like, there's no way to
test it. My ears.
The only way to test it is to take it, so he drinks it.
You're not a good scientist, buddy. This is what happened to Kurt Connors, just so we're clear.
That's right. You never know. One thing's for sure, when it's over, I'll never be the same.
He almost killed himself for Gwen, guys.
I did it for you, Gwen. I did it for you, Gwen. I did it for you.
You ungrateful hag. I did it for you.
So he lays down in bed and he basically starts tripping.
At least these are montages. At least they're not the guilty floating heads. Although Aunt May could be considered a guilty floating head.
Yeah, because yes, I'm sorry. Aunt May always feel responsible for Uncle Ben. If only had stopped the killer. Take a drink, future love.
Why must everything I touch end in tragedy?
But there's only one thing I can do. And they show him getting in trouble with Jameson. He hates me, but he hates Spider-Man even more. If he ever found out my secret.
This is so angsty. I
Oh,
can't
Lord.
stand it.
And then, if not for being Spider-Man, I'd have won Betty Brant instead of Ned Leeds. Let her go, Peter.
Really? We're still talking about Betty? Really?
She's not a good person, Peter. Come on.
I know.
Again, this is only issue 100, so it's been what?
I know.
A few years.
Few years.
But now it's Gwen I truly love. Oh, wait. But now it's Gwen I truly love. Who's that way behind Gwen back there? The hair don't look red, but is that Mary Jane?
It's only been 8 years. Sure, we could use a recap. We could use a recap.
And when her father died, I almost lost her, too. Will she always blame me for Captain Stacy's death?
Props?
Why must everything turn to tragedy?
This is so angsty, it hurts, guys.
I know. But then, I hear a voice calling for help. Remember, he's dreaming this whole thing. The voice is fading, growing weaker as he's climbing a building, but then he gets attacked by...
It's the vulture!
Spider-Man, your time has come at last. You weren't the voice that called. So yeah, he's like trying to catches the vulture by the legs. You mustn't harm me, you only harm your loved ones.
Burn.
Oh my Lord.
Burn.
And even you know, but you mustn't as he smacks the vulture away. The vulture is finished, but I still hear the cry. It comes from all around me, pleading my name as he gets hit by the lizard's tail. Boy, this version of the lizard's very chatty Cathy. I've waited for months, knowing I'd someday find you.
Well, this is the early version. You know, the longer it goes, the more animalistic he gets, I guess. That's my headcanon.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Of course I didn't call.
Dang, he called him insane, though. So you know his subconscious is like, bro.
Yes. Oh, yeah, because, the lizard even says, you're insane, Spider-Man. You've always been insane. No, don't ever say that. Ever. I can't.
Whip him right in the face. Good job, Pete.
That's right. It's the one thing you must never say. The one thing I must never hear.
I've always wondered about my sanity. You are friends with Harry, so I could see that. That could be contagious.
Why would somebody normal live this life? I can never find the answer.
There's like tons of mass superheroes and vigilantes in the Marvel universe. Excuse me?
I know.
Excuse me?
Is Stan talking about all his creations here?
He was having a midlife crisis, guys. Don't worry. Don't worry.
I wanted to be a novelist, not this crap. But yeah, while the lizard's still trying to rip that webbing off his head, Spider-Man's like, I hear the voice again, and takes off.
It's coming from everywhere at once. Maybe it's because it's your subconscious, idiot.
Was the lizard right? Am I really mad? And then he gets zapped. What does it matter if you're mad or not? That mocking voice can only be the Green Goblin.
This time you must be the vanquished.
You were born to lose. You're a loser.
Well, he's not wrong.
You never won anything. You never really succeeded. All you ever did was you managed to survive.
Ooh, this is like right in the millennial feels right here, guys.
I know. But you could tell the period this is in, 'cause he's like, no Green Goblin, because then the other, modern day, he'd be like, shut up, Osborn.
Exactly.
Don't choke, Lilith. Go
ahead, throw it in.
So yeah, Spider-Man's falling off the building. He's wrong. You must be wrong. My life can't have been one entire waste.
Some days I wonder, Pete.
After all you tried to do for people, you're still hated, still despised. You've never made it. You never will.
Where's Uncle Ben at? Come on.
That's when he kicks him. Shut up, no more. Maybe survival is all that anyone can hope for. Man,
this is bleak nihilism right here.
how cheery is this issue? All we can do is try to survive. Oh, Lord, here we go. My side, why does it pain me so? Nobody hit me there.
Are you pregnant? Are you pregnant with the
Oh, no.
symbiote?
Wait till he wakes up. Wait till he wakes up.
No, I know. I'm just saying.
Mhm.
That would have been a better plot twist, to be honest.
Yes, but he's still walking along the rooftops thinking, who's calling me who? But then he gets grabbed from above.
By tentacles, shiny, sparkly, not quantum tentacles, but shiny, sparkly tentacles, none the same.
Superior tentacles?
Yes.
Oh my. So, yes, fool, did you think you'd heard the last of Doc Ock? How can you be here one at a time? It never happened before, besides that annual.
Annuals don't count, apparently.
I know. I was going to say, didn't Stan write that? Someone whose anything can happen to you, someone whose whole life has been a fraud and a lie. Ooh, you thought yourself a do-gooder, but all you ever really wanted was fame, glory, thrills.
Should have been a wrestler, bruh. That's what you should have asked Mephisto for.
I didn't want my power. I got it by accident, but once I had it, I couldn't stand by and not use it. Why can't anyone understand? So he grabs those tentacles.
Because we all know the truth.
He grabs those tentacles.
You were guilted into it. We all know the truth.
Exactly. Why can't I face the fact that even I don't understand? As he smashes Ock into a building.
Subconscious is a hell of a drug.
Oh, he dropped some acid. That's wasn't that stuff. My side hurts worse than ever now.
Uh-oh.
But I still feel
he gave himself an enema, guys. It's not good.
I know. As he's swinging and he's like, it's the voice of a man, a voice I've heard before. Why can't I recognize it? I know it's the voice of our friend. I can feel it as he gets to another rooftop. And the pain's getting worse. But oh, look. In this stylish, I don't know what the color is in that, but in this Marvel Tales reprint, that jacket is orange. The pants are green.
Yeah, we got kind of like a golden mustard yellow.
Ugh.
And green pants. Yeah, he's not the most stylish guy.
Who is he, an anchor man or a caddy? Come on. You'll feel no pain when I'm through with you. You'll feel nothing. But it wasn't your voice. The Kingpin just like smacking him around. Maybe I have been a failure, but I've never been a quitter. And I won't be now. I won't.
Oh, look! A floating head, but no, it's not Uncle Ben.
Yeah, because he takes off because it's Captain Stacy. Yeah, after a while, this floating head goes away, basically. Well, after, he's replaced by his daughter after a while.
Exactly.
Listen, Peter, I know your secret. I know who you really are and what you are, but the tragedy is that you don't really know. But you're dead. How can I hear you? Even a voice that's been stilled can be heard if you only listen. Oh, Lord, Lilith, line up your shots. You have been given great power, and you've tried to use it for good. No man could do more. There have been others with power who tried, yet they too were jeered, misunderstood, hated, and finally destroyed. I'm just waiting for Uncle Ben to be standing over Captain Stacy's shoulder going,
Tell him! I tried to tell the boy. I tried to tell him.
And look where it got me. I'm a Mephisto now.
Oh.
You have tortured yourself by trying to live a normal life, but you cannot. Captain Stacy, don't go.
A house divided cannot stand.
A George divided against itself cannot stand. But Peter starts waking up and he's like, I'm awake, yet my side's still aching. Even worse than it was in a dream. How can that be? The potion. It must have something to do with the potion.
Spider-Man.
I mean,
now you look like a spider.
I mean, in these two panels, he says potion like 3 times. Because I wanted it to change me as he rips off his shirt, but not like this. That's right. This is where he gets the 6 arms.
90s Spider-Man did it better.
What, the cartoon?
Yeah.
Dun, dun, dun. All right. So.
Oh, important note. There'll be no cop out. We promise you. Spidey is really awake. He has 6 arms, and our tale will be continued next issue.
And we'll never go back on it.
I mean, some chicks dig six arms, you know?
That's what you need to keep up with Lilith Hellfire. Oh. All right, but loyal listeners, we have our good friend Ray from Into the Night and Moon Knight podcast has really come through. He sent feedback for each individual issue this time. So, Lilith, would you like to hear what Ray had to say about issue 100?
Sounds like a plan, Jan.
There you go. Hold on. No, I don't want to take a screenshot. All right. Here's Ray from Into the Night and Moon Knight podcast.
Hello, Phil and Lilith. This is Ray.
Hi, Ray.
I'm going to drop in some thoughts on your episode about Amazing Spider-Man 100 to 102.
Sounds like a plan, Jan.
So I'm just going to do maybe like one at a time. And I just read Amazing Spider-Man 100, and I've got to say I really did enjoy it. It's an old classic. For me, that's a sort of that is my Peter Parker and Spidey. And I'm just going to pull it up. So Gil Kane, he draws a really cool Peter Parker, more so, but Spider-Man's very cool in it as well. Just some thoughts. You can see for sure back in these days the lack of the Todd McFarlane influence, the very, very acrobatic swinging Spider-Man. He's very much more conventional here, just kind of swinging by almost like Tarzan, but we know that Todd McFarlane kind of introduced those really flexible poses that Peter or Spider-Man uses as he swings through the city. A very classic story, very kind of charming in the sense of its simplicity. It just, you can kind of, it's on the nose now these days. You can see it's just a little bit of an excuse to have Spidey just fight all his main villains and kind of create the scenario where he's able to fight all his main villains, as well as there being this, I guess, burning mystery as to why he's aching on his sides and you can hear a voice. When I was reading it, I actually thought that, number one, it had something to do with the potion that he drank, which it turned out it did. But number two, I thought the voice was someone probably trying to wake him up, but turns out it was Captain Stacy. And I guess the symbolism as well is pretty much on the nose as well. All the comments and the interactions that Spidey has with his enemies, you can tell the insecurities that Spidey's had within himself, which was kind of set up at the very beginning when he's kind of looking on and saying that he's watching life on the sidelines. I found also his quest to get rid of his powers. I don't know, I just found it very reminiscent of Dr. Bruce Banner and the Hulk and trying to find a cure for what he's got. But I did not pick the ending, which was pretty cool. So we've got Spider-Man literally now with 8 limbs. So pretty fun. I'm going to get on to issue 101 and going to let you know what I think of that very, very soon.
Yeah, take that, Doc Ock. He's got 8 real limbs, not just sparkly tentacles. Take that.
Oh, ho, ho, ho. Yes, how superior do you feel now?
Could you imagine? That would be an absolute nightmare.
Yes. Especially trying to get control of him.
Yeah.
Petey's got a date for almost every night of the week.
Got an extra working overtime.
Jeez. All right, so should we get to 101?
Oh man, this is some horror inspired fare.
Oh yeah, which I guess Stan Lee just wanted to write issue 100 because this issue and the next one are written by Roy Thomas.
Yeah. Because
Stan Lee's just the editor, so he's like, here, I gave him 6 arms, go.
Sucker.
He's still Gil Kane on art, so. Oh, Lord, but yes, there's Peter standing there. Good Lord, I've created a potion. Potion, and I drank it, even though it was untried and untested. Duh.
I wanted it to change me forever, but not like this. Not like this.
See, now I can't go getting up all in Kurt Connor's face.
Well, he forgets, so don't even worry about it.
I know. At first, I thought it was all part of my nightmare, but it wasn't. I really have 6 arms. I didn't shed my spider powers. Instead, my serum did the op. Now it's a serum. Instead, it did the opposite of what I intended. I became even more of like a spider. And it's just sinking in. My condition may be permanent.
Yeah, right.
I never.
I love how he's like, I'm a freak. Step right this way, folks. Only 25 cents and 2 box stops to see the human spider.
But I just love how he never expected, again, his potion to backfire. And I know, so I never bothered to develop an antidote. Good thinking.
Slow clap it out for Peter Parker, the idiot. Exactly.
That's that, Parker. Think you become a character. You've got to give this little saga a happy ending.
Okay, Stan, calm down, buddy.
Well, no, it's Roy Thomas, remember?
Sure it is.
Thank you, Roy. Oh, Lord, then the phone rings. Who's that? Who could that be? Who could be crying?
Probably Ed Sullivan. But no, it's Gwen. It's Gwendy.
Peter, I was hoping I'd corner you at home. No,
I bet you did, you little minx.
Now, don't say a word. Just settle back and listen. This is your lucky night, man, no mine.
Uh-oh. Go on.
In honor of Betty Friedan's birthday, I've decided to play Liberated Woman and treat you to the R-rated flick of your choice.
Dang, son.
I should warn you, I've already seen Love Story, but I've got enough Kleenex left to sit through it again. Ooh, you could cover my eyes during the spicy parts.
If you guys don't know, Betty Friedan is a American feminist writer and activist. Just in case you don't know.
Look, I may as well be frank with you. Okay, Frank, go ahead. I can't see you tonight. Fact is, I'm going to be out of town, maybe a while long, maybe for a while. Peter, you sound so strange. What is it? Is it something I did? Why? Got a guilty conscience? Did you sleep with Osborne? Did you?
Dang. Now that's the real tea, right?
So I think they even said it did come down around that time when Harry was like tripping. So that line kind of scarily works.
Yeah, exactly.
She's
like, yes, Peter, I understand. I won't bother you any longer. Goodbye. I said good day, sir.
Maybe that's why she's crying so much. She's all pregnancy hormones.
And he threw her off the bridge to get rid of the kid. I see.
I'm telling you, that's seriously. I mean, he knew that was going to do 2 things. You know, it was going to hurt Peter Parker, and then, yeah, he's going to cover up his indiscretion.
You know what? We all might be on it. We all thought it secretly.
Stan had it planned all along. But Peter's like, snap out of it. Think positive. Think of all the extra power those limbs will give you.
Did he sew those extra sleeves onto that jacket?
You would think. Well, we made his costume. But he's like, but
spandex is a lot easier to work with, but okay.
But all I can think about is Aunt May. If she sees this, her bad heart could kill her.
Wow.
You only really wish. I mean, well, yeah.
She's been 90 for 90 years, bro.
If it does, then I'll have come full circle, and Spider-Man will be the monstrous menace the world already thinks he is. Oh, Lord. You know, in pop fiction, the masked heroes are always looking for a gimmick that'll strike terror in the hearts of evildoers. He mentions the Shadow.
Batman.
Ray's favorite. Even a guy called
There was even a guy called Spider once.
Yep. The only person you'll scare more than the crooks is yourself every time you look in a mirror.
Now what? Why is my phone ringing? Who is he, me?
I seriously. Now who am I going to have to tell to kiss off? Maybe it's a nice, wholesome, obscene phone call. This is you.
It feels like that.
But it's Joe Robertson. Yeah, Jonah. Yeah, ask him already. Peter, got a little assignment for you. If you're still our part-time staff photog.
Remember, you had a job, son. Remember?
Yeah, we need pics of a bank stick up. Thanks. By the way, I'm skipping town for a while, heading off a case of mono. I warned you about that Stacy girl, see?
Exactly.
He is Jonah on his way to the country for a rest cure.
I love how he's like, easy, Jonah. You act like this was a toll call.
I know.
Penny pinching Jonah.
So he said it's the middle of the night, but meanwhile they're both at the office.
Well, no, they're news guys. That makes sense to
True.
me, especially
True.
newspapers back in the day. So that makes sense.
Yeah, but Jameson, you would think Jameson would be like paying people to be there in the middle of the night,
No, of course. Any staff he can send home, he will, and he'll do it. Come on.
Penny pincher.
That's it. Exactly.
The Bugle will be a laughing stock if we don't get pictures of that hold up. Really?
It's hyperbolic. It's fine.
It's Peter Parker who worries me. Oh, Lord. This is really great. 10 minutes as a human centipede. Human centipede?
Ooh, don't ever Google that or watch that movie. You'll have nightmares for life.
I've already probably lost my girl, blown my job. Gotta get away somewhere. There's one guy.
That's what we need, fresh country air.
Wait a minute. As he makes like Thanos. Wait a minute. There's one guy who's got a pad made to order. Pad, get it?
And it's in Florida, get it?
He calls.
He'll blend right in.
Oh no! I'll have to avoid the armadillos, but
And the gators.
yep. So he calls Kurt Connors. Spider-Man, did you say? Sorry, whoever you are, but I don't buy it. Why would Spider-Man be calling the Everglades? So Pete's like, okay, Doc, no time for games. Who besides Spider-Man knows used to be the creature called the Lizard? Because, again, it was a secret at this point. Yeah, I thought that would do it. Something happened to me, Doc, like the accident that turned you into a monster. I need a place to stay. Oh, and you recalled that I once mentioned my place in Southampton? Look, you've helped me too often. I couldn't turn you down if I wanted to. The summer house is yours.
As long as you need it. Look at that face, though.
You know the address.
You know the address, and the key's under the front stoop. Why do you have a fully equipped lab in your summer home? Your wife must love you, bro.
Hey, man, it's cheaper.
Must love it.
It's cheaper to manufacture your own Viagra.
Point. Good point. Valid points.
You know the address, and the key's under the front stoop. And then Pete just hangs up.
Getting that money out of the cookie jar. Classic.
Yeah. Well, I guess it's time to get on the stick.
Whatever that means.
Oh, you know what that means, Lilith Hellfire.
I mean, I do, but not in this context. There's only one context for that for me.
Oh, yeah.
Not too much to pack. Go ahead, throw it in.
Unless Peter Parker leaves for exotic Long Island, or does he?
Cab ride, chain ride, lugging heavy suitcases.
One stray breeze flaps my coat open. It's goodbye, secret identity. So since I can't carry a phone booth on my back, it better be Spider-Man who makes the trip.
Time to flip all the way to Florida.
And he's like, sorry I left the apartment. It was such clutter, roomy. Maybe I'll be back to give you a hand and a hand and a hand.
Better luck next time, Bunky.
Oh.
See you later, Bunky.
Good Lord. So yes, he swings off. Oh, what in? I guess the extra arms are just flailing around. It's these extra arms flailing around like crazy.
Better get it together, homie.
Yep. Well, I guess I should have practiced with all 6 arms before I made like Kazar. But my Spiro Agnew wristwatch tells me it's nearly dawn.
Oh my god, like this is old, guys.
Yeah. Something tells me if I'm not out of town by sunup, this is one dawn that's really going to come up like thunder.
Thunder!
So yeah, so he's getting control of them arms.
Here we go, guys. He's learning. He's doing it. He's like John. Oh, John Carradine, really?
He calls them extra members.
I bet. Talk about your members only club, yeah.
But yeah, so yeah, he hops on a train, and sometime later, the Long Island Railroad loses a somewhat colorful passenger.
And nope, he didn't pay the fare. Thank you, Stan.
What do you think he was going to? So yeah, so he's walking up the beach, and then he finds the house. Can't see why Doc does all his research in a Florida swamp, and he's got the House of Dracula right here in Southampton.
Get it?
All it needs is Tony Perkins in a fright wig.
Okay.
Are we talking Psycho?
Oh.
And Connors could sublet it to Alfred Hitchcock. But yeah, he's like, stop it! It's dawn, not night.
And this is hardly a haunted house, or is it?
He said, at least until I got here. The place is empty. I know it is. So why is my spider sense tingling to beat the band? Why do I feel an aura emanating from its direction? An aura of death and decay?
Because we got vampires.
That's right. Because
Dr. Morbius, the living vampire.
Maybe.
Oxymoronic.
because maybe it's not the house, but out in the ocean. On this freighter or whatever, yeah. The crew's like, what's with that guy below decks? We had nothing but bad luck and vanishing crewmen ever since we found him adrift in the middle of the ocean.
What is this? Interview with the vampire?
And they're like, let's get him. So they go down to the engine room. There he is. And he says, no, please go back. I just want to get to shore. I don't want to hurt anyone. So they all jump on him and start attacking him. Hold him down. He's trying to break free. Correction, swine. I am free. He like busts free and then he heads up. Oh my! How leaden my limbs feel. It's the middle of the day. Get it?
Yeah.
So yes, he's hiding. They're looking for him, but once the night falls, comes out in his fancy costume, and now his skin's all white.
I'm almost as great a fool as they.
To ease a moment's anguish, I nearly surrendered myself to their tender mercies. But now it's night, and night belongs to Morbius.
Morbius.
Oh Lord! All right, here's a Lilith Hellfire. All right, replace Morbius with Lilith Hellfire in this sentence. For the darkness is a time for strange thirsts, and when Morbius or Lilith Hellfire thirsts, it must be quenched.
It must be quenched.
Oh, you should have cracked a can at that point. Oh. So it's you. Why are you looking at me that way? What are you gonna? No, keep back. And I guess he just like
Tasty little meat bags.
takes out the whole crew. I've triumphed over them all. My thirst is assuaged. For another hellish night, I live while they are all dead. So Lilith Hellfire leaps off the ship with all the dead boyfriends still up there.
Exactly. No digging required this time.
Oh, yes. So yeah, we see finally, I guess by the next day, Morbius makes it to a certain beach.
Convenient.
Yes, because sun saps his strength. So yes, he goes up to the belfry and hangs like a bat. Get it?
I mean, we did mention Batman in this issue, so I guess it's fair game.
Plus, I can sleep the dead sleep once more. This is Lilith. Until it is night. And again, back in the basement. He's like, Spider-Man, 2 days, I've accomplished nothing. All I've done is waste Doc's chemicals. I wish I could give him one of these arms to replace the one he lost. Here, Doc.
Oh.
Here, Doc, would you like some fancy Peter Parker fingerprints?
Can I interrupt this issue for 1 second?
Sure.
So apparently Morbius won't be out till March 19th, 2021.
Oh.
So we're going to have to do another Morbius month.
Yeah, we'll either do it here or Comic Capers or both.
Yeah. So just a little update in case anybody actually cared.
Yes, we're doing it.
Which I know you don't.
The movie was supposed to be out now, I think like the last week of July, so.
Yeah.
But we got you with the Morbius.
So In case you were wondering why we're doing Morbius in August.
That's right. So yeah, so he's mixing the chemicals, and Spider-Man's like, nothing, it's not working. That's the end.
Impotent fool.
It's the end of a second fruitless day, just before sunset, to be exact. But yeah, Morbius. Who's that man with 6 arms? His costume looks familiar. Yeah, I can't remember.
Plenty of veins to drink from. Yeah.
Nothing matters except the ravening thirst of Lilith Hellfire. Again, a thirst which must be quenched. So yeah, he runs into Spider-Man. I don't know who you are, fella. Be sure know how to make an entrance. Saying nothing, just choking Spider-Man. His face, it's hideous and humanly white. He's like a costume version of a vampire.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, Morbius tackles him. His fang is going for my throat. And I was right. I don't dare believe it until now. You are some kind of vampire.
A spider versus a bat. Who's gonna win?
Yes, I guess your tiny mind would label me thus. But yeah, so yeah, you got Spider-Man on the ropes. He's like, I'm tired working 2 days almost.
Look at that punch he gives him, dude.
I know, man. I know he punches him off the staircase, man. I mean, that's like a worthy Sal Buscema punch, man. Like a Sal right across. Nice splash page. That is much better. He lies so definitely still. And as he's about to feast on Spider-Man, Kurt Connors walks in. Stepping too late. Good Lord. Keep away from me. You don't know what can happen.
Uh-oh. Don't make him angry.
Yeah, you wouldn't like it when he's angry. Yes, because he starts changing into the lizard. So Spider-Man wakes up and he's surrounded by Morbius and the lizard. Two monsters for the price of one.
Let the monsters fight.
Let the monsters hit the floor.
Exactly.
So any thoughts on this before we listen to Ray's feedback?
No, this was a good, fun, cheesy issue.
Why must I be a monster? All right, so yes, part 2, Ray's feedback.
Hello, Phil and Lilith. This is Ray. Some more quick thoughts on issue 101 of The Amazing Spider-Man. I am loving this. I've just finished it, literally, just put it down. And
Literally.
the last act, I guess, of where Kurt Connors comes in, and you got Spidey having been beaten by Morbius, and he's got the lizard to contend with. This stuff is gold.
It's cool, Jerry.
Loving it. I enjoyed I'm assuming this is the first appearance of Morbius. It's a great little origin. Him being on the ship, it's quite spooky. Can you imagine a whole ship kind of comes into port somehow, and there's just all these dead crew members, and Morbius having taken all their blood. It'd be interesting because I guess later on down the track, his character is developed. At the moment, he's very much just a vampire. So, very interesting to see how that develops. But overall, I like this whole thing about Spidey with his 6 arms, trying to figure out how to cure. I think the irony is not lost on Spidey that he calls Kurt Connors, who has a missing arm, and I thought it would be an ultimate slap in the face if Spidey met up with Kurt Connors and, parading around with his 6 arms and poor Kurt just with the one. But anyway, we do get them both together at the end. Just Spidey, this predicament, it's a strange one, isn't it? With his 6 limbs, his 6 arms, he's trying to come to terms with it. But again, this builds on the previous issue, and I like this one a lot more than issue 100, although I do like issue 100. So yeah, again, classic Spidey, classic Amazing Spider-Man. Loving it by Stan Lee and Gil Kane, and Roy Thomas, I think, steps in for the writing. But very good. Anyway, I'm going to read 102 now, which should wrap up this funny, entertaining tale.
Thank you, Ray. So yes, so we get to our final one, 102, which is it's oversized, right? Because like my Marvel Tales is oversized, I believe.
Yeah, I think so.
So it's like, wait, so 100 wasn't oversized, but 102 was oversized?
It was a mess. It's fine.
Roy
they
Thomas.
didn't try that hard back in the day. It's like you got an oversized when they felt like it, when the story deserved it, and I appreciate that.
I mean, I guess they're like, 100 stands right now. That's good enough for the kids. But then Roy Thomas got to his second issue. He's like, oh man, I need more room to clean up this mess. Come on.
Honestly, that's probably exactly how it happened.
Probably. Oh, special 102.
It's like Stan gives me this mess and I gotta clean it up. Damn it.
So Amazing Spider-Man 102.
Vampire at Large. All right.
Spider-Man wakes up surrounded. Man or man-like lizard stand away from the chosen victim of Morbius. And Lizard's like, no, I must be the one to slay him.
Just split them straight down the middle. King Solomon, that stuff, man.
But yeah, so page 2 is basically just a recap of the last 2 issues. How we got here.
As you do. That's why it needed to be oversized. We had to recap this mess.
Yes. So I guess they're fighting over Spider-Man. So Lizard and Morbius are going
like, who do they think they are? Brandy and Monica? He's mine.
Were they Mary Jane and Gwen?
Exactly.
But yeah, so Pete's thinking, oh, my head's still throbbing from where that would-be vampire tossed me off the landing.
He's seeing stars.
But he's like, oh, the Lizard smacks Morbius with his tail, but then Morbius grabs and swings him around. He's like, if the Lizard doesn't get on the stick, he's not going to fare any better than old Liz. Then he wouldn't. Oh! Yeah, because Morbius has thrown him around the lab. You'll find Morbius far more powerful than he seems.
Oh, God. He speaks in third person. You know he's evil.
Oh, yeah. But the Lizard can monologue with the best of them in these early issues. Now you shall find that I am precisely as strong as I appear, which is strong indeed. He backhands a blur.
Now, for the final time, leave Spider-Man to me.
I only desire.
I just hear Starscream's voice for some reason when the Lizard talks.
Sure it's not Cobra Commander.
No, definitely. Well, same difference.
God. That's the joke, get it?
Oh, I get it.
I'm sure you did. Morbius says he only desires Spider-Man's blood, though perhaps yours would do as well.
I wouldn't want no lizard blood. I'm just saying, I wouldn't want a spider-human hybrid blood either, just to be honest. These are all terrible choices.
Oh, please. A couple months ago, you were going to eat alligator. Come on.
It doesn't mean I want to drain the blood out of it. It comes pre-drained. I'm just saying, and they deep fry it. Everything tastes better deep fried. You don't have to think about it.
This is turning into a real free-for-all, and the door prize is your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man.
More like a no prize.
Oh! Spider-Man's just clinging to the wall watching them fight. Until Morbius knocks the Lizard into some equipment. Where he gets shocked.
Oh, we could have saved it for Shocktober.
Oh! But yeah, knocks the Lizard out where Morbius is able to bite him. Right in the Lizard's scaly neck.
Ew.
And then so Spider-Man swings down and
somebody's got salmonella. That's all I'm saying.
Oh! But yeah, Spider-Man swings down and kicks Morbius. He's like, either I'm not as weak as I feel, or this creeped a lot lighter than he looks. He
not
says
the Christmas tree.
But yes, the Lizard's blood was cold. I would have feasted upon the blood of the fallen man monster, not your own. Now I feast I must. For I, Lilith Hellfire, are not like other women. Mystery got ghost white skin, eyes like blazing candles, and bones that've got to be hollow. Oh, Lilith has a hollow leg. I didn't think you were John Q. Citizen. Just to the devil are you? I've been speaking in third person this whole time. I am Morbius. Spider-Man, wait, you fascinate me? Tell me more. Morbius, mock me even as you seek precious moments to regain your strength. But yeah, Morbius just takes off saying he's going to drink the world.
A world ripe to become the prey of Morbius.
as he glides away. Ooh,
Were vampires like a big thing in the 70s? I don't know. I feel like they didn't have their time in the 70s.
Paging Charlie Ussher.
Yeah, he would know.
But but he doesn't leave empty-handed. He's got a strange device on his back shaped like a spider.
There's a couple. Nosferatu 79, Dracula also 79, Blackula 72.
Okay,
Love for Spite 79.
This was 71, so.
Yeah, so no. They were trying to make it a thing and they succeeded. Good job, Sam. I mean, vampires are always a thing, but like, you know, like how like Twilight made vampires and like, you know what I mean? Like, there's always those spurts.
Yeah, well, phrasing. But yeah, I mean, Dracula has always been big. I mean, every couple of years they're always like, you know, trying to do a new Dracula thing. Well,
there hasn't been a new Dracula movie in like 20 years, maybe.
Yeah, but I was thinking probably like in the 60s and 70s they were probably
cranking them out. You're right. Exploitation films and whatnot. But I don't know, like I don't know.
The midnight monster movies and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just barely had enough strength to pin a spider tracer on him. But then the lizard wakes up. Spider-Man, what happened to me? Now I remember. I saw that fiend and I turned into the lizard. So yes.
He's like, no, wait. You have 6 freaking arms, kid? Are you kidding me?
And right now we have Professor Lizard because it seems it's Kurt Connors in control of the lizard.
Exactly. Professor Lizard. That's apropos.
But he's like, yeah, that's why I called you and borrowed this place. So far, I haven't stumbled on any formula or potion to get rid of it. He's like, wait a minute. Was Morbius returned? Not him, Doc. You're starting to change. Because he shrinks. He's the almost come back to Kurt Connors, except he looks like a scaly Kurt Connors.
Yeah.
I mean, he's even like flesh colored and everything, but yeah, he's scaly. Just the same. He lost his right arm again.
Oh.
And if the lizard can lose an arm and
all the scales and none of the benefits.
Get it? If Morbius can drink from the lizard and make him lose his arm and still be somewhat lizardy, maybe it'll work for Spider-Man.
Sure. I don't think the math adds up, but I'm just gonna keep it moving. I'm not Charlie, so I don't care that much.
He had no time to draw blood, yet he weakened me somehow. Hey Doc, you're shaking. I'm changing back to the lizard again. I know it. I feel it. He changes back, but you still got Doc's mind. Don't seek to give me orders, Spider-Man. Yeah, you're right. We must find a cure. So
for both our sakes.
So the lizard's fighting for dominance here. So Spider-Man's like, I gotta figure this out. Oh, you see why Connor's changed back. I wish I could help you do my share of the work, but my hands are too awkward now.
Good thing you got 6 of them, buddy.
Well, no, Lizard has.
Thank God Spider-Man showed up with 6 arms, you know.
Perhaps, besides, for once, having 6 hands might be a plus. So he's separating chemicals and the lizard's just pontificating. We must find that cure. We must. And yet, why would I want to be Kurt Connors ever again when I can be the lizard?
Why would you want to be the lizard? You live in a sewer when you're the lizard.
Seriously, you didn't get no women looking like that. Come on.
I mean, hey, we're not here to kink shame. I'm sure there are some ladies. I mean, there's furries out there, so
there's women who
I don't know what they would call the opposite of furries. I don't know, but
scalies.
Scalies. See you later, bunkies.
I mean, not true. I guess.
See you later, bunkies.
There are women who date serial killers and stuff. So
exactly.
But we invented a whole new thing, scalies.
Whoa.
Copyrighted at 1:07 on July 19th,
Whoa, that's pretty
2020.
big. An enzyme? Maybe that's what the vampire put in me.
Of
Of
I
course.
don't know, man. I'm gonna have to research and see if this is how this all works. I don't think so.
1971 comic books. I'm sure this science holds up well. Such a thing entering your body through his fangs must have affected your metabolism.
I guess it's subcutaneous and all that stuff. Maybe.
So they mixed up their potion, but they still need the enzyme. So
Then Morbius beware. That's just the best line of the book, and you can fight me if you don't think it is.
Morbius, something about that name strikes a familiar chord. If only I could remember. Still, I must go with you. You can never handle him and administer the serum alone.
Yes, I know.
Well, okay, we better move. He could be halfway to Transylvania by now.
Rude, racist to be honest.
That's right. But yeah, he's like, Connors is barely holding on, so we better get this done. But yeah, Morbius has made it to New York City. So yeah, he finds a deserted basement or built in this building. Yes, this border.
I mean, honestly, it's the perfect place. A whole bunch of douchebags that won't be missed. So
True. So yeah,
fight me, New Yorkers. I don't care.
I guess he goes to sleep for the day, and the way it began, we're gonna finally get the true origin of Morbius.
Oh, my sweet summer child.
But yes, he dreams of a laboratory hidden high in the hills of your native European land. You know that generic European land.
Exactly.
Yeah, him and his buddy Nikos are working on a big machine. Because he's dying and he's looking for a cure also.
That's how it goes, bro. That's how it goes.
Michael Morbius, winner of the coveted Nobel Prize.
Dr. Doom would know this guy. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Reed Richards would know this guy.
But yes, he's working on vampire bats.
That's just not a good idea. That's all I'm saying. I think we've all learned our lesson about that now.
Yeah. Oh, here comes his woman. I know you two.
Have you seen his face? Why is she so into him?
He won a Nobel Prize.
Oh, she's a science groupie. Okay. I mean, I guess the same could be said for Sue Richards.
Her man is flexible. Come on.
Ooh.
I know you two prefer to work in secret out here, but sometimes a woman gets lonely.
Martine, calm it down.
The next phase of my research must be done at sea, a place where security will be total uncertain. She's like, I'm coming with you. No. It is not enough that fools snicker behind your back because you love one as hideous as myself.
I mean, yeah, basically.
And why would you risk your life with radioactive materials? But she's like, yeah, I hear you, but I must go upstairs and pack. But you couldn't leave her behind, could you, Morbius?
Well, that won't end well.
Not the girl whose love flowed like blood through your veins. Get it? Blood.
Get it?
So yes, they get their chartered yacht, which he bought with the last of his prize money. See, Nobel comes with money.
Yeah, I know.
What new research are you doing? That Martine must remain a secret even from you.
Oh.
But Nikos is hooking up the electroshock. Never speak of my work here again in front of her. You know my orders. She's a courageous girl. I don't doubt her courage, but my own. The fluids we distilled from the bats have not slowed the illness, which not. What fluids are you distilling from those bats?
You don't want to know. It's probably guano, to be honest.
I don't know.
Oh, but they do have electroshock devices, so there's that.
Yep. Oh, sounds like a typical Lilith Hellfire Friday night date.
Yeah, basically.
We'll just strap you into this electroshock.
Don't ask questions. You'll be all right.
Oh my! If he's like, if the work's a failure, he'll never live to see land again. But that final night tells her he has to leave early. Routine matters in the lab. Do not work too long. You seem so pale. Get it?
They seem much too bright. Much too bright. I feel you, son.
What's on his spacesuit? The electrical creation of blood cells is something never before attempted, let alone achieved. If we only had time to gauge all possible results, and yet you say we have no choice. For what side effect could possibly be worse than death?
Living without your loved one, of course.
So yeah, they do the shock. For how long? Then Nikos is like, I can't stand it anymore. I'm turning it off. Are you all right? You screamed. Yes, I'm fine, but weak, so weak. Help me remove this suit.
So thirsty. Come a little closer.
The lights in this place seem so bright. Yes.
Like, Grandma, what big eyes you have?
Yeah, because puts him in an isolation tank. Then we lets him out. See, the door's open now. Oh, that can't be Michael. You're white as a. Does he even drink him? Looks like he just chokes him to death.
Yeah, he saved him for later.
Neat. Oh, yeah, but that's gonna be all cold.
They got a microwave. It'll be all right. They got sun outside. It'll be all right.
Dead because you love me, Nikos, because you cared. Perhaps you were the fortunate one. For what of me? What is this thing that Morbius has? Oh man, the third person's already starting.
Yeah, that's how you know he's turning evil.
The bat extract, the electrical shock, all acting on me somehow, turning me into.
You know the word. Well, don't you, Nikos? And the word is vampire.
Air, must have air. Must think. Martine asleep in the cabin. She will help me. She is compassionate, warm. Yes, warm. Rich
blood coursing through her veins. Who is he, Venom?
God forgive me. What am I thinking? So he dives off the ship. Better far to end this stillborn mockery of life. Better far to die.
Well, good on you, sir.
He dives in the water. I guess he won't let himself drown because he comes up for air. I was a fool to leap overboard to sacrifice myself so other lesser beings might live.
Uh-oh.
The ship which was mine is gone. There will be other ships, other prey for Morbius, which gets picked up by the ship we saw last issue.
I ain't picking up no guy that's dressed like that in the water. Sorry, I just kept going right on by.
Seriously. But I still thirst as he's laying there in the basement dreaming all this. Then we see, I guess, some homeless guy come down.
Oh, yeah.
Complaining about filthy hippies.
Well, 'tis the season.
But he's like, hey, look, that door's open. Huh? Looks like a stiff. Maybe I can roll him for what? He's moving. No.
And that's what you get for being a pickpocket in New York City, apparently.
Yep. But then we see calls coming in, all kinds of calls coming in the TV news service.
Just another day on Long Island, to be honest.
Swears he saw a prowler, the usual 100 arms. And this Phantom had
God.
And this Phantom had a tail to boot. Could this be related to that Bowery bum they found dead a little while ago? But no, the calls were coming in from Long Island. This was Manhattan. Don't know what kind of kook spook they're seeing out there. It could have nothing to do with that bum. No. Well, the Phantom.
The curse and the cure. The curse and the cure.
That's right, because the Phantom with 6 arms and a tail was Spider-Man swinging with the lizard.
Look how he's holding on. No grace at all, bro.
I'm trying to track down a real live vampire with the lizard, my only ally. Right now, Liz's human and inhuman instincts seem to be waging a kind of inner tug of war. Only Doc Connors knows how to extract the enzyme from Morbius. What if what if the lizard triumphs? Oh.
Oh my God, the lizard's like, I can't take this anymore. Peace out, homie.
Well, yeah, they're clinging in midair. He's like, what am I doing here? Here, clinging to the form of my most hated enemy.
Peace out.
He tells him, yeah, Doc Connors, chill. He's like, Connors, the lizard has nothing to do with that weakling. I must be free as he lets go. Yeah, so Spider-Man has to grab him with a web line and save him. But saved which one? And guess Connors is back in control. He's like, I must have been out of my mind. I'm all right now, thanks to you.
You know, now that I think about it, I think a lizard, well, Kirk Connors' costume would be the easiest. You just keep your hand up, throw your lab coat on, put some glasses on, and call it a day.
There you go. We got to find that mystery man before it's too late. Too late for both of us. Oh, but all right, guys. Sorry, it's been so long since we got some Gwen Stacy crying. Let's get back to that.
You're gonna leave my Gwendy alone, okay?
She's sitting there watching TV. So Pete was a bit rude on the phone. That doesn't mean he no longer loves
Don't
you.
be so melodramatic. Exactly.
Everyone has a bad day, but then why hasn't he called back these past 2 days, even though he told you he was going to be out of town for a while?
She's Gwen, guys. She's Gwen.
And either he's not at his apartment or else he's just not answering when I call.
I wonder if it's Aunt May.
That's it. When he said when he said he'd be out of town for a while, that must be it. He must have went to Queens.
To be fair, it is out of town.
Yeah. He must have just meant he'd be visiting May Parker in Queens. One phone call, girl, and you can trade in your crying towel. Can you, Gwen Stacy? Can you? Yeah, she calls Aunt May, and she's like, oh, no, he's not here. I'm certain he would have told me if he were going away. Uh-oh. So Aunt
May's just blowing up the spot.
Between that and then it's like, hey, guess who Pete forgot to call? Aunt May.
Dang.
No, nothing's wrong, Mrs. Parker. I'm sure you're right. If Pete had told anyone he was leaving town, it would have been you. So she sits there crying. Then we see Robbie at the Bugle. Better show this to Jameson. Now somebody spotted the Long Island Phantom prowling around near the door.
Uh-oh. Daily Bugle's in trouble, guys. Uh-oh.
Oh, yeah, it is. Yeah, it's been a few years since we've done this story.
If only somebody would buy the Bugle.
If you mean that recent circulation drop, 71, you think circulation's bad now.
You're going to have a podcast, sir.
Oh, nice. Wait till I have 50 years. If something doesn't happen fast, there won't be a Daily Bugle. It'll just be a podcast. But then back to the lizard, who's just cruising around looking for victims until Spider-Man and the lizard show up.
Yeah.
Gotta subdue Morbius. Get that enzyme before the lizard acts up on me again. This is one time I'm lucky I've got 3 right fists.
Hey-o.
I'll be luckier if I can get rid of them. We want to help you as much as ourselves, he's telling Morbius. Morbius needs nothing, wants nothing. Save human blood and life. So Spider-Man webs him free and get away. Again, into the wall. Knocks him out cold. And the lizard, Connors, is like, it's better this way. It's easier to extract the enzyme. I'll just hold him down to be sure. How will you separate the enzyme from his blood? Maybe I won't have to. Just adding a bit of his blood to the serum prepared, maybe.
Oh, geez, they are just willy-nilly. There's no scientific method here.
No OSHA, I'm telling you. The blood turned the potion blue, as we expected. So the lizard injects himself first, and then, yep, Connors goes back to normal. No one arm and everything.
Oh, that's a little sad.
It changed me so quickly. I'm completely human again. Thank God. And Spider-Man, hope it's not too ghoulish, but I noticed your extra arm disappeared too. Because he's like...
Oh, he just recognized that man.
Yeah, Yeah.
Oh, and worst of all, Michael Morbius. I'm sorry, I forgot.
Morbius wakes up and kicks Spider-Man and grabs the potion and runs away. Spider-Man has got the serum. If he destroys it and then escapes, you may never be cured. Destroy it, you whimpering fool. I mean to drink it. That's when Connors recognizes Morbius. So Spider-Man goes swinging after Morbius. You've been pulling your punches with Morbius because deep down you identify with him.
I like a good vampire story. It's not that bad.
Yeah.
I mean, the third person monologuing, it's a villain trope. I get it. I can deal with it.
Pete's like, what would I do if I needed human blood? Did you become a murderous man monster just as Morbius?
Rob the blood bank. At least it's screened and pure. Well, not in the 70s, but you might be better off drinking random people in the 70s.
I was going to say 71 screening. Yeah, it's human blood. Throw it in.
Good enough. Throw it in. Go ahead, throw it in. Well, now they're on a garbage barge, so there's that.
Well, yeah, because first Spider-Man gets to a rooftop, and Morbius is, yes, I guess, gliding over the river. So he's like, he webs him up and smashes him smashes him into a bridge, foreshadowing. But yeah, Spider-Man makes it to a garbage barge, and then Morbius is going down in the river, but Spider-Man tries to web him, but only gets the serum, the potion. So yeah,
people had like apparently a real big problem with this issue specifically, I guess.
Why?
Oh, they just didn't like all the like dialogue and the boxes and stuff.
So yeah, Spider-Man has the potion and gets back to Connors.
The potion? You mean the serum, son?
Well, they call it both in this story. But yeah, Connors administers it and he loses his extra arms.
Convenient. A little too convenient.
Maybe there's a monster locked inside each of us, Doc, just waiting to be unchained, waiting to destroy us.
We're all Banner inside, you know?
Whoa.
It's true.
You don't want to make Lilith Hellfire angry.
You really don't.
All right, so one last feedback from Ray. And then we can talk. Yeah, that. All right. So, all right, last one of the day. Ray from Into the Night, a Moon Knight podcast.
Hello again, you two. This is Ray. Just for some final feedback on Amazing Spider-Man 102.
Thank you, Ray.
A nice way to wrap things up with a really cool classic-style three-parter bumper issue. I enjoyed this, and to follow up from my previous comments, so we did get a rather wholesome origin of Morbius in part 2, which was really satisfying. I really did enjoy this whole thing. I mean, I know in the scheme of things, if you compare it to modern day writing, it's a lot more simplistic, but it's done well. It's done in such a way that it's fun and quite accessible, and it touches upon action and drama as well. The action's again very simplistic compared to some more sophisticated use of power sets and ways that heroes and villains kind of fight, but it still had a lot of fun going for it. This whole thing with the serum, again, a very kind of classic trope, and I was, to be honest, a little sad to see that the end of the Spider-Man's 6 arms kind of wrapped up really quickly. I would have hoped to see him with his 6 arms for a bit longer, because I feel there was a lot of potential there. So I'm not sure whether he does get 6 arms later down his run again. It seems like something he would have, because I know there's a Marvel Legends figure with him at least, or that could have been the doppelganger of this iteration. Anyway, it was a very fun issue, wrapped up really well. I like the interesting fact about Morbius having the light bones, but being quite strong as well. The depiction of Lizard, it's funny the way he was drawn there. He seems almost like a frog-like, or very non-threatening look as a lizard. If you compare that to the Todd McFarlane and later ways that he was depicted very much more monstrous. He's literally like a replication of a lizard, it seems, and they aren't necessarily kind of scary. Finally, as well, just the demise of Morbius. I wonder whether the intent was to keep it open as to it was like a testing field as to whether this character will work or not, and they were happy to wrap him up if he proved to be not as popular as they would have hoped. Turns out that he was popular to an extent, so that's pretty cool. And I'm certainly glad. I find him an interesting character because he's kind of like an artificial vampire, which I find very interesting. Like he's manufactured through his own means. So I guess he doesn't have that immortality. I mean, when he was underwater, it's not like he didn't need to breathe, because he did show that he gasps for air as he went up. So he hasn't got all the traits as
he's the living vampire, right?
Vampires, but yeah, he's very much kind of like a construct of one. Finally, as well, I'm just going to throw it out there again. My favorite phrase of this issue was flaccid remorse. I'm not sure about that, but I'm sure there are some people out there that have flaccid remorse. I'm not going to admit whether I have had it, but I just thought I'd lay that out there. And
somebody get his woman on the phone.
As you will. That's what she said. Anyway, catch you later.
Oh my God, Lil, we have broken him. You realize that?
Oh, I just brought out the real Ray. That's all. That's all I did.
Oh my Lord.
Poor Into the Moon Knight fans, though. Poor Moonies.
I mean, he's a little more serious on his show, but it's just like, oh my Lord, his poor woman. I'm just waiting for that call one day. Just like he's walking around the house talking about fickle pickles and.
What the
That's Finn's new nickname. Finn is a fickle pickle.
Oh. Daddy. Oh, good Lord. All right.
Yeah, I don't know. I like, even though it's like 70s cheesiness, I still think it's a pretty fun story. I especially love 102 the most, just because it's giant size and we actually do get that origin and they do clean it up. Yeah. It is wrapped up too neatly with a bow, but I'll take that over that being like a miniseries, a 12-issue miniseries. Honest to God.
Did you ever read What If 42 from 1992?
I don't think I did. What is it?
It's what if Spider-Man had kept those arms.
Oh.
And like the big plot point is like he can't cure himself because as Morbius, I guess, is gliding over the ocean, he gets eaten by a shark.
Oh, damn. The disrespect.
But eventually he gets a normal life because like at the end he goes to Reed Richards, who gives him like some kind of devices for 4 of those arms to make him invisible when he's Peter Parker.
Honestly, that's kind of what I thought they might go for. And then they go, nope, it's a dream. Stan lied.
I mean, I 71. I don't think they're ready to go. Yeah, let's make him full man Spider. But
yeah,
hey,
but,
man.
It's nice.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, good story. Origin of Morbius.
The living vampire.
I'm
Get it, guys?
On YouTube. Origin of Morbius.
Get ready for the movie that'll never happen.
It'll come. Next year, you said, right?
Yeah, supposedly.
We'll get there. 30 seconds, and we'll get there. All right, Lilith Hellfire. Anything else?
No.
Pickle, anything else?
No drops for you today.
You never know. Here, let me pull up the schedule for next time. I know it's more Morbius people, so.
But wait, there's more Morbius.
That's only the origin. There's my schedules. See, people. Unfortunately, these are all planned. Phil's little fish, he'd be like, just throw it in. All right, so we are August. So yes, next time we jump to the 90s for Peter Parker Spider-Man 77 through 80. Right after the Clone Saga. Don't worry, Lil. You missed it.
Oh, I know. Trust me. I know.
Yes. And then the week after, we'll be doing some Ultimate Spider-Man 95 and 96. Get you some
Fun times, guys.
get you some emo, Morbi. And then, of course,
he's a living vampire. He's just going to be emo all the time. Let's just be
that's
honest.
right. And again, of course, we wrap up the month with Scarlet Spider. With this month, it'll be Spider-Man Funeral for an Octopus.
Poor Charlie.
Charlie sending flowers. That's right. And then next month, it's just a mix of stuff I like from the 90s.
That isn't Ben Reilly.
No, it's not Ben Reilly. So yeah, that's September, and then we all know it's coming in October, right?
Shocktober, get ready, people.
And November.
Gobble gobble. Part 2.
Gobble gobble.
And then, of course, we wrap it up this year with December's Sinister Sixmas.
That's the best one. Go home. Everybody, every other comic book podcast can go home in December. Okay? And if I catch CBR doing anything about Sinister Six, we're starting a Twitter beef.
Yes. Yes, that's right. So, yes, including in December, our big 100th episode, which I believe is going to be a big live reading.
Oh, Lord. Oh, the humanity.
I still need you to pick. You want to be Aunt May or Betty Brant?
Betty Brant. You already know.
Oh, yeah. That's that. Not the typecast, but that seems about right.
That's about right.
She got a bunch of dead bodies on her tab too. All right. So anyway, yes, send us your thoughts. I'm always follow us. We'll email your Morbius stuff, capesandlunatics@gmail.com. Call the voicemail 614-382-2737. That's 614-38-CAPES. And remember to follow Ultimate Spider-Cast on Facebook, Twitter. And remember, I put up what we're doing that month. So if you want to send in feedback, just check the Facebook or Twitter so you know what we're doing. You can read and send in feedback like Ray. You know?
Sounds like a
Be
plan.
like Ray. Be a good egg. Be like Ray.
That's right. And also subscribe to our YouTube channel, our Patreon, where we talk all things Star Trek. Find links to everything all in one convenient place. That's Linktree, linktr.ee/capesandlunatics. And remember to support the sponsors. Tweaked Audio, Hunt a Killer. That's right. Be like Spider-Man, Hunt a Killer. Pod Life, the book, now in digital and paperback. And when you go on Amazon to buy that and more, use the link for Southgate Media Group right down there in the show notes. Help us support this show, the network, and of course, that he who lurks in the shadows also, Rob, Master Doom Southgate.
Make it rain. So says Master Doom.
Yeah.
Lilith Hellfire.
If you nerds want to hang out with me on the interwebs, you can find me on Twitter at Lilith Hellfire or on the gram at Lilith Hellfire 69 or at Lilith Hellfire 86. I see it. I want it. I get it.
Okay, Morbius. All right. So yes, thank you everyone. Thank you, Ray, for the in-depth feedback. Again, next time, swing into the 90s with Peter Parker Spider-Man 77 through 80. So send your feedback. But until then, swing on back.
Thwip thwip!